Other big people that PM Modi already met. One of them is a man called Nassim Nicholas Taleb. He's a celebrated essayist known for propounding the black swan theory. Let's listen to what Nassim Nicholas Taleb had to say after that meeting with Prime Minister Modi.
I connect with His Excellency the Prime Minister. We sat down. He mentioned anti-fragile. We spoke about bouncing back from adversity. And we spoke about essentially risk-taking. So it was wonderful. And I also commended India on the response to COVID and how India was very efficiently dealt with it, particularly with the food the distribution and all of that.
Right, that was Nassim Nicholas Taleb, praising India's efforts when it comes to mitigating COVID. Something that he's not alone in, Karthik. The world over, India gets praised for the way it handled COVID and the way it handled vaccination. But here's a man who called out, first of all, who came up with the black swan theory.
And there's no better example of COVID than any other available to define or exemplify black swan. I think COVID was pretty much the most prominent example of a black swan event in living history. So Taleb was the guy who actually coined the term black swan and black swan events, which are unpredictable.
And that was a year before one of the biggest black swans apart from COVID, and that was the 2008 financial crisis.
Exactly, the financial crisis, 2008, but actually he started working on the theory in 2001, which was a year after the dot-com bust. So the dot-com bust was another black swan event well before the term black swan was even available in public parlance. But coming back to I think what Taleb was referring to and alluding to, I think the records are pretty much out there to suggest how we stayed dogged. I'm not saying we handled it really well. We did. Given the situation, given the circumstances, India handled the COVID situation in the best possible manner it could. But did COVID not take lives from India? Of course it did. Did it not slow down the economy? Of course it did. Did it not take jobs away and make life difficult for a lot of migrant laborers? Of course it did. But given the situation the world was in, India seemed to have handled it relatively better than even many of the developed countries. And this includes the US. The US, for example, printed currency. India did not take that easy option of printing currency and putting it into bank accounts or hands of the population. Rather, it focused on the supply side of the economy. And that is how PLI schemes and inviting manufacturing to start in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, all of that sort of got linked to India's handling of the COVID situation. But purely on the healthcare side as well, we were not the first ones to line up outside Pfizer or Moderna and import the vaccinations. Rather, we stayed very, very dogged, very focused, and had our own companies in India, pharma companies in India, going ahead and taking that punt on manufacturing vaccines. And these vaccines, mind you, not just for domestic use, but also exported to multiple countries, including neighbors Bangladesh, who have thanked us profusely because that was a difficult time for the whole world. But India sort of held on to selfish interests at one end, but also allied with the rest of the world and made the vaccines available through the Vaccine Maitri program. So these are social issues, not typically business or political diplomatic issues. These are social issues in which India was able to show leadership. Right. And that gets appreciated on world forums like these.